The French Revolution was caused by a series of conditions throughout the time period before the Reign of Terror. First, social inequality due to the estate system caused political unrest. The first and second estates, or nobility and clergy, had special privileges and didn't have to pay taxes, while the majority of the population, or the third estate, did. Another cause was a shortage of food and rising prices that led many people to protest. Finally, new ideas about equality and freedom, also known as Enlightenment ideas, spurred thoughts of change and revolution.
Action. As time continued, the revolution was getting out of hand. The Committee of Public Safety was established in 1793, and it led to the mass executions of over 17,000 people supposedly opposing the revolution. The Reign of Terror was a period of time in which everyone in France lived in fear and paranoia, as people of all classes were killed in public executions. This committee was established for the defense of the nation, but it was really anything but.
The head of the committee, George Danton, was replaced by me, Robespierre. I favored policies that involved a wee bit of killing, hence the term Reign of Terror.
The Committee of Public Safety was supposed to help protect the people, but in the end it had lost all hope and resorted to terror to get France back in line. In some ways, it might even be considered successful. Robespierre, why don't you explain what exactly led up to the executions of so many people?
Well, basically, the condition of France was driving me a bit insane. So I decided that anyone who spoke against my opinions or showed the slightest bit of opposition got beheaded.
He really went off with their heads on his extreme beliefs.
Yeah, I even think I'm a supreme being and the savior of France. I was the head of the Jacobin Party, which was the most extreme, revolutionary, and radical party. But sadly, the National Assembly didn't agree with me, so they were always trying to limit my role in the revolution.
So how is it that you became such a powerful leader in contrast with your former life?
Well, I became well known because I was very passionate for the death of King Louis XVI. Not only that, but I wanted the common, hard-working man to rise up against the evil aristocrats.
Why did you think King Louis should have been killed?
Of course, he was a horrible ruler who always taxed the poor and lived in luxury with the aristocracy and the clergy. At least if he was dead, the system would come crumbling down. With him in rule, we the third estate, all the poor people had no rights and we're sick of it.
And how are things going at the moment?
Well, things are going absolutely.
Attention! Robespierre, you have been sentenced to prison without trial because of all of the harm that you've caused our nation. You've been executing your political enemies without taking into account those who truly need to be executed.
No, you can't do this to me!
No.
Before Robespierre was beheaded, he fled from the Luxembourg prison to the Hôtel de Ville. Soon after, he received news that the National Convention, the first French government which was wholly Republican, had declared him to be an outlaw. He was so devastated since the institution which he used to be the president of had turned on him, and he tried to shoot himself. However, he failed and survived, just to be seized and beheaded along with his allies, the Jacobins, the next day by the National Convention. Following his death, the Reign of Terror had come to an end, along with the Committee of Public Safety, since it had also lost its leader. The government that soon followed was a Directory, which brought back inequality and corruption. Napoleon Bonaparte took the opportunity of the weak government as a general in the French army and overthrew the Directory in order to become the Emperor of France.